Hello everyone. Welcome to a special English lesson called Prehistoric, Prefixes and Suffixes. My name is Mr. Nathan, and I'm a teacher at Suzhou Science and Technology Town Foreign Language School. Let's go learn something. Now, there may be some of you who already know a little bit about these things, but I think many of you might be sitting there thinking, what are prefixes and suffixes? Well, to jump right into it, prefixes and suffixes are a part of language called affixes, or sometimes affixes, that you can put in front of or behind words. You cannot use them by themselves, but when you attach them to a word, they are quite powerful and can change the meaning of the word. The word that you attach prefixes and suffixes to is called a root word. It holds the main core meaning of your larger word. Let's try this with a word. For example, the root word from above, play. If we add on the prefix re, which means again, we get the word replay. Re and play together mean to play again. Now, to test it with a suffix, let's reuse our root word play again. Let's add on the suffix able, which means to be able to or can. And this will give us the word playable. Playable means to be able to play or can play. We can even, if we want to, combine prefixes and suffixes together on a root word. For example, if we once again take our root word play and then our prefix re, and again that means again, and our suffix able, which means can, then we get re plus play plus able or replayable. This means you can play it again. It's usually a word that's talking about games that you've played once but are so much fun that they are still even more fun when you play them again. So we can take lots of prefixes and suffixes and add them together with root words to make new and interesting words. Unfortunately, we can't just add all the prefixes and suffixes to any words and make it work. It really only works with words that come from Greek and Latin origins. It's easy to say that, but it might not mean much to you now. So let me give you a few more examples that you can use. Let's take our prefix that we know and then add some new ones too. Starting with re, which means again, we have a few examples here. Replay, which means to play again. Redo, which means to do something again. Maybe because you're unhappy with how you did it the first time, or you just want to try again. Reuse, to use something again. We often see this with the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Next is restart, which is to start something again. And finally, review, which is to view or see something again. This word is important for studying. For example, when you need to practice for a test, you look at all the things you've studied again so that you can remember them well and get a good score. Next, we have miss, which is a prefix that means wrong or wrongly, which is to do something in the wrong way. For words, we have misuse or to use something in the wrong way, to misplace or to put something in the wrong place, or rather to put it somewhere and forget where you put it. That happens to me a lot sometimes. Misspell or to spell a word in the wrong way, mistake or to do something wrong, and misbehave, which is to behave or act in the wrong way according to the rules. The next prefix we have is over, which means too much. The words we have are overdo, which is to do something too much, overwork, which is to work too much and be very tired, overjoyed, which is to be very, very happy, overeat, which is to eat too much, and overload, which is to load or put in too much. Finally, we have un, which means not or the opposite of. Actually, there are quite a few prefixes that mean not. For words, we have unfinished or not finished. Unfriendly, which is not friendly or not kind. Undone, which is something that either is just simply not finished or is something that was finished or completed or tied together and then now has been taken apart and not finished or done anymore. Unknown means something that people do not know. And last, uncomfortable or not comfortable. This is a feeling that you're not calm or happy somewhere in some way. So these are a lot of useful prefixes, but Truthfully, there are so many more. Too many, in fact, to teach you even with a whole hour of a lesson. I suggest that you go out on the internet or find a book to help you learn more of these. For now, what I can do is show you some tables here of various prefixes. As this is an online lesson, I unfortunately can't give you any papers, but you can take a picture of this screen now and study them slowly at your own pace. So let's do that. Please take a picture of the screen so that you can learn more and use these in the future. Did you take a picture? Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about some examples of suffixes. Again, there are quite a lot of them, but we'll go through a few here quickly and then give you some more examples. First, we have the suffix that we saw before, able, which means to be able to or can. For some example words, we have playable, which means you can play it or it's easy enough or fun enough to play. Doable means something that you can do or it can be done. It's possible. Enjoyable means something you can enjoy or like doing. Viewable is something that you can view or see. And last here is likable, or something that you can like. The second suffix that we have is less, which means without or lacking. Powerless means something that does not have any power. It could be talking about a person or electricity. Joyless is talking about something that does not make you happy. There is no joy. Fearless is when someone or something is not afraid of anything. They are without fear. Nameless is something with no name. And spotless means that there are no spots or dirty places somewhere. You should always leave your room and classroom spotless when you leave. Next is ly, L-Y. Ly is a very common suffix that tells us how something is done. It helps describe actions and makes adjectives into adverbs. Safely is when you do something in a safe way. Quietly is to do something and not make much noise while you're doing it. Quickly is when you hurry to do something. Beautifully is when you are doing something and it looks very nice to other people. For example, the dancer in our little picture here. Joyfully is when you are doing something and you are happy doing it. And last, we have ing, I-N-G. You've probably seen this suffix quite a lot. There are two ways to use this one. It is talking about something that is happening right now or in that moment to make the continuous verb tense, or it is talking about an action as a noun. Running is someone or something that is running now, or the action of running. Sleeping is sleeping now, or the whole action of sleep. Jumping, like in our picture, is when someone or something is jumping at that moment, or just talking about jumping as a whole. Eating and then playing are just the same. You will notice that these are all verbs that we have put ing onto, compared to ly, which is attached mostly to adjectives. Some suffixes go on nouns, some go on adjectives, some on verbs. In the end, they make different kinds of words as well, or sometimes just change the style of the word that you're working with. Here are some examples in tables below. If you look at the top of the tables, you can see how these work and what kinds of words they make. Once again, just like with our prefixes, there are too many to teach you right now, so please take a picture of the screen and slowly go through them at your own pace. Did you take a picture? If you're ready, let's keep on going. Prefixes and suffixes are incredibly helpful parts of language. They don't work with all English words, but they do work with quite a lot of them. What you can do to learn more is start paying more attention to the beginnings and endings of words as you read and write. You'll probably notice that some words begin or end in the same way. If you notice this, write it down, and when you have time afterwards, go look it up. It will help bring your English to much greater heights. Now that we've learned a little about prefixes and suffixes, let's take them and do something fun with them. Did you know that English dinosaur names are basically all made using prefixes and suffixes? That means that if you learn about Latin prefixes, you can easily learn or understand most, if not all, dinosaur names. Let's take a look at some examples. This dinosaur is called Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex. It is a famous dinosaur for being big and strong and powerful. In fact, you've probably seen it before in some of the Jurassic Park movies or other places. The name Tyrannosaurus rex is made up of one prefix and two suffixes. Tyranno means tyrant, or terrible ruler or leader. Saurus means lizard, and Rex means king. Together, it basically means tyrant or terrible lizard king. Another dinosaur that you've probably seen before is called Triceratops. Tri is a prefix that means 3. Cerato means horns, and ops means face. The name Triceratops means 3-horn face, or 3-horned face. In this case, Cerato has an O at the end and ops has an O at the beginning. So instead of using 2 O's, we take one away and fit them together. Isn't it cool what we can do with prefixes and suffixes? But actually, cool part is just starting. We're going to make our own new dinosaurs. Here's a list of prefixes that we can use for dinosaur names. There are quite a lot of them, but let's quickly go through so that you can understand the meaning and how to say it. Brachio means arm. Bronte means thunder. Di means 2. Dano means terrible. Gravis means heavy. Frigo means cold. Glycos means sweet. Macros means long. Megalo is large. Micro is small. Saltus means leaping or jumping. Stegos means plated, or that it has some armor on it to protect it. Teratos means monster. Tri means 3. And Tyranno, as you know, means tyrant or terrible ruler. Here are also some suffixes to go along with those. Ceratops, which is 2 of them actually together, means horned face. Dipus means 2-footed or has 2 feet. Gnathus, the G is silent, means jaw, which in this case basically means mouth. Mimus means imitator or someone who copies other things or people or animals. Ops means face. Odon means teeth. Pus means foot. Raptor means thief, someone who steals something. Rhinos means nose. Maybe you remember that from the animal rhinoceros. Saurus means lizard. Venator means hunter, and Rex means king. I know that's kind of a lot, but really there are so many more. We're just looking at a few here to get you started. So let's take our new words and try them out. How about I start with a more simple one? I'll use a prefix and a suffix. I'll take gravis, which means heavy, and ops, which means face. Together they make gravisops, or heavy face. Here's what that dinosaur might look like. It's pretty funny, but also it's pretty cool. How about another one? Let's try 2 prefixes this time. I'll do di, which means 2, micro, which is small, and odon, or teeth. If we combine them, we get dimicrodon, which means 2 small teeth. I think that this would be an interesting dinosaur. It would be a little difficult for it to eat things, though. Okay, now let's try something more interesting. I'll take 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes. I'll use macros, which means long, brachio, which means arm, venator, or hunter, and then rex for king. That makes the name Macrobrachiovenator rex. That name means long-armed hunter king. In my imagination, my dinosaur is quick, dangerous, and can hunt and catch other animals easily. That's why it's a good name for it. So these are my examples, but now it's time for yours. It's time to make your own dinosaur. Here's a writing prompt or a writing guide to help you write some great English about your dinosaur and get you started. First, you should pick some prefixes and suffixes to create an interesting dinosaur. I think 2 or 3 in total would make a good one. To be honest, if you use too many, while it might be interesting, it really kind of makes a big mess, and it doesn't make much sense. Once you've chosen them, you can begin writing. It begins with the famous paleontologist. By the way, a paleontologist is someone who studies ancient life. And then here you write your name. So the famous paleontologist, your name, discovered a new dinosaur and named it, and right here, you put your new dinosaur name made from the prefixes and suffixes. It continues. This is a good name because, and then right here, what you can do is describe your dinosaur and explain why the name fits well. Then, you should tell us a little bit more about your dinosaur. What did it eat? Where did it live? What did it like to do? Once you have thought about that, you can write it down. And after everything is written nicely, you should draw a picture of your dinosaur to go with your new description. If you and your friends all make dinosaurs, you can make a new dinosaur encyclopedia together. That would be really amazing. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson about prefixes and suffixes. Learning more about languages can be a lot of fun, and you can do some really cool things. Go out and learn more about prefixes and suffixes and keep improving. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you come back and watch more videos from our school.